Hey guys, it's your Formless guide. Today, we confront a significant landmark on our path, the milestone of regret. This isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a profound consequence that emerges within us in intense moments, often cutting deeper than we can immediately perceive or understand through feeling. It's time we dive deeper. Follow along with me as we thoughtfully navigate this terrain. To the new listener, what is regret? Regret typically surfaces when we sense a misalignment with our core values. Something that feels like a missed opportunity, or acknowledge harm caused, whether intentionally or not. It's more than just an emotion. It functions as critical signaling, a necessary check-in of the mind. It subtly asks, did I truly honor truth within that moment? Sometimes it may linger and begin to make you question, am I prepared to reconcile what this experience genuinely meant? What was the true intention behind this entire consequence that is now regret? Something that we can use to assess this is chakra systems. And I often speak about them to help bring relation to these emotions, as their psychological standpoints help us understand the truths within. Now, Svadhisthana, the sacral chakra. Regret can significantly disrupt the natural flow of creativity and the emotional authenticity here. The lingering wound of what could have been tends to freeze this energy in its center, as its source stems upon free-flowing energy of forgiveness and freedom. Another thing this will interact with is solar plexus, the Manipura chakra. It directly challenges your inherent sense of power and personal agency. Regret often whispers, planting the thought that you should have done more. You could have done more. All of these things stem towards attacking the self-worth aspect in your subconscious mind. Let that flow just for what it is, a feeling that is not yours. It's an insecurity, it's a fear, not to be ashamed of, but to accept with an open heart, which brings us to the heart chakra, Anahata. This is where regret often settles most heavily. Unspoken apologies, maybe unresolved desires for closure, and a prevailing lack of self-forgiveness compress this vital energy of compassion and self-acceptance that is contained within this space. Sometimes it can block us from having that emotional clarity to provide forgiveness for ourselves. While regret doesn't confine itself to a single chakra, its energetic ripples extend widely, yet its deepest roots often take hold within these three centers. We're going to change the view as we use a different lens. Using the Theravada's understanding, regret is intricately linked to moha, which translates to delusion, and ahiri, lack of moral shame. It's not simply a feeling of sadness, rather it's the clear realization of an unwise action once clarity has returned. Regret manifests as a form of dukkha, which means suffering, born from the cycles of craving, aversion, and ignorance, what you would understand as the unconsciousness. But here's the crucial shift in perspective. Regret serves as an awakening tool. In the Theravada, its purpose isn't to hinder you. It's designed to illuminate mistakes precisely so that they are not repeated. The purpose of regret is not a punishment. Instead, it operates as a sophisticated feedback loop. Its fundamental purpose is to reveal unintegrated choices, highlighting areas where our actions will diverge from our inner wisdom. Sometimes the unconscious survival instincts that we have can cause us to make decisions that weren't the true intention. Another thing that will happen is they redirect the seeker to alignment. This will help guide us back to a path more congruent with our authentic self, fostering discernment and humility. Cultivate the wisdom to make more conscious choices and the grace to acknowledge our imperfections. Sometimes we may forget or believe that we don't deserve grace for the regrets that we've had in our lives because of the level of pressure we apply in ourselves. However, this process demands that regret be witnessed fully, not suppressed. Suppression transforms regret into bitterness. Reflection, on the other hand, transmutes it into transformation. Energetically, regret carries a distinct density. It tends to settle low in the body, feeling heavy. It often wraps itself in a repetitive loop of replay and analysis, like a broken record stuck. Daily you may feel the same situation that just hits you. And when it hits you, it creates distortion in your day, in your emotions, in your decisions. This is the depth of regret and its effect on your energies. Yet, when directly faced, its energy becomes malleable, meaning ready for redirection through intentional mindfulness and deliberate reframing. Here's where we speak about techniques for creating this transformation. These are practical techniques we can use to move through regret. Things like reflective questioning. This gives you a space for contemplation and assessment. Like we spoke about with the chakra system, having specific psychological points we work on. We use this for reflective questioning. Like, for example, what core belief did this action truly stem from? Or, what value was I disconnected from in that moment? What would genuine alignment look like for me now, moving forward? And these are just some examples. You can create more as you go along. However, the layering of questions is what I would like you to pay attention to. And what we previously mentioned, chakra activation. Utilize focused breathwork and visualization practices to consciously restore this energy, particularly within the sacral and heart centers, which we explored upon in our series. You can check in our Wellness to Spiritual playlist, where we completely cover all the psychological standpoints of the chakra system and how we can help them become more lucid, more fluid, creating easier, healthier, empowered life. Another thing we can do is compassion journaling. Write as if you are the wise, compassionate parent guiding your past self. The aim isn't to justify the action, but to deeply understand the underlying circumstances and emotions that caused these feelings, that caused this consequence of regret. This is how we go about contemplating in a healthy manner. And for those who've tried all these things and feel like they need something more physical, consider symbolic actions like letter burning, a spoken apology, even if it's simply to the air or to yourself, or a water release ceremony. These rituals can have a profound effect in clearing the gunk within the emotional subconscious. Ultimately, regret extends an invitation to accountability, but emphatically, not self-attack. When you choose to pause and truly witness its roots, observing without distortion, and then gently realign, you don't merely let go of regret. Instead, you mature significantly from the experience itself. I want you to let this episode serve not as a reopening of old wounds, but as a gentle, transformative unfolding of new perspective from this wound. We are not saying they are forgotten. They happened, but they are not your story. They are just piece of the journey. So that concludes our reflection today on the milestone of regret. If you find yourself carrying this weight, understand that it is not a sign of brokenness. Rather, it is a powerful signal of your consciousness returning. As always, your formless guide walks beside you. May you tread forward both with clarity and care. This is your formless guide, signing off.